South Bend City Council, November 13th, 2024.
Mom.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. Do we have any items from the public tonight? It does not appear that we do. Okay, moving on to item 4, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda, the consent agenda, the minutes from the budget workshop on October 24th, and from the regular meeting on October 28th.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Are any opposed? Motion carries. All right, do we have any correspondence?
No.
We do not. Okay. Moving on to item 6, ordinance number 1601. This is the ordinance in regards to water, amending portions of the Municipal Code 1305, Section 3, water. And this is the final reading. And this would increase water rates beginning January 1 by $15 per month. So I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, so we're gonna raise it 15
Mm-hmm.
and where's the money coming from on number 8? For the bond, we have to cash in a bond for the water also, don't we?
This is coming from the HUD fund, and then it's a $300,000 bond. Part of it will be water and part of it will be for current expense.
How much for the water?
Looks like it would be whatever 300 minus 239, 284 is. So like, what is that? $60,716.
Goes to the water fund.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we'll talk about that when we get there.
Well, I'd like to wait and vote when we have a discussion about,
For water?
water, because it has to be used for water. No, that's okay.
No, the HUD fund doesn't, and that bond doesn't, because this is also in the bond
So we're taking money out of the HUD fund
for current expense.
and we're not taking anything out to we're right on target for water, we're not behind or anything.
We're behind for this year, yes, but there's still, there's money in the water fund itself. I mean, we've got this much money in water. It's most of it is in investments, but this is also in investments.
Right.
So the plan is to take the $300,000 bond, 239, 284 of which is current expense in the HUD fund. And then the other would be the $60-some for water.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
it makes sense. I'm just wondering what we're gonna do at the end of next year
For,
to bump up the water.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's why we're doing the rate increase. We're hoping that that would be enough and we won't have to do that again. That's the goal.
okay,
Does that make sense?
yeah, it's a goal, but
That's the goal, but
Well,
based on
that's
hope.
yeah, we
No,
know what
it's-
happened. with
it's
the sewer
based
plant a
on-
few years back.
on numbers, we've crunched numbers. And that's why we went up $15 was to bridge the gap. And
And the gap is caused by increased,
expenditures.
Such as.
Yeah, we had, everything's gone up, all supplies, all materials. Everyone gets a wage increase every year. We had the new,
new
payment
loan
come
payment.
online this last year, all of that.
I think what Janice was wanting is to have the budget meeting to talk about all of this before voting on an increase in water. I think that's what she was asking.
Well, I understand that the water is a standalone,
Yeah,
we can't do much about it. But I am slightly aggravated that we have not, I mean, people are seeing this for the first time after our budget meeting. And we don't know where cuts were made, you know, where expenditures were cut, if revenues were increased. So we're, you know, going blindly as a council.
What would be
We're-
harm in waiting?
we're not making budget decisions tonight. What we're doing is doing the increase in water, which is necessary in order to
That's
balance
true.
things for next year.
But the other thing we're asking for
The
is,
budget discussion will be at the next meeting.
we're not doing trying to make up the deficit we have at this meeting. In the general fund.
Yeah, that's what the item
That's-
8 is.
Yeah, item 8 is just authorizing the use of the bond
Right,
in January.
to cover the deficit we have now. And the council
It's
doesn't,
it would be to cover the deficit that is anticipated for next year.
the 225 budget, which we haven't
Yeah.
sat down as a council and reviewed the changes that were made. When we left the last meeting, we were 180,000 down.
Right.
So I think we deserve to know where the expenditures were taken off.
Mm-hmm. Which we had planned to go over at the next meeting.
After we've already, you know, approved the money, and that's asked backwards if you ask me.
Okay,
So,
well, we can put it off, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. We just wanted to do it, quite honestly, because I don't see another way. And if we do it now, when everyone is here, you know, when we get into the holidays, a lot of times a counselor or two is missing, and it takes 100% council approval to do this.
well, I
It
mean,
takes every member of the council to be here, and everyone has to vote yes. or it
I
does not
understand that, but I
happen.
think
Yeah.
we need a budget meeting. I don't know what you guys think. You want
Okay,
to,
if you want another
agree
budget
with you.
meeting instead of in
I
a
do.
regular council meeting?
yeah, I
Okay.
mean, we don't want to have you go line by line here while we have, you know, this gentleman waiting.
Okay,
No, I want to go through it line
So
by
we
line.
want, you guys want
So-
another budget workshop?
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so do you want to do, it'd have to be next week. Because then we're into Thanksgiving. Well, anyway, we've got a motion on the table. Let's talk about this, later. We have a motion on the table for the water increase right now. We have a motion and a second, and we're in discussion on that issue. So, is there any further discussion on that issue? Okay, all those in favor?
I,
Are any opposed? All right, so that carries. So let's, move on to item 7, and we'll talk about that. We will, Jim. Let's go to item 7, the Mary Rogers Pioneer Park EV charging station. And we have, Fabian is with us. Fabian Toder, who is the one that is, presenting this proposal to us. And so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hello again. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to switch to sharing. Hopefully, everybody can see my screen.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Well, dear Major Julie, I pronounced your name right, council members and city officials, thank you for the opportunity to present this proposal. I'm very excited to discuss the installations of the DC fast charging stations at the Mary Rogers Pioneer Park, which I truly believe they will bring a lasting economic, environmental, and infrastructural benefits to the city of South Bend. This is a project funded by a new company that I just started, TurboVolt Charge. It's designed to support local businesses. Quite frankly, going to the next slide, I've been in South Bend for the last 10 years with our business Green Labs. I've been getting great support from Dennis Hook for the last 10 years. So I'm invested in the community growth, and I'm excited about the potential to bring this project. Been talking to Dennis on and off, I know, for the last 2 to 3 months. I was looking, to find a good spot for the chargers. And I realized that the city actually went and applied for a NEVI funding before, was not granted. So that means the city itself, was interested in this. So I connected the dots together, and I was like, why not, connect with Dennis and ask about those spots. So I own an electric vehicle, and for the past, 3 years since I had my Tesla, it's been very hard coming into, basically being able to drive from Seattle all the way here and then coming back. Takes a lot of time to charge my car, at Green Labs, because I only have a level 2 charger, so it takes like roughly 8 to 9 hours to charge the entire car. This proposal outlines a plan to install 3 dual port DC fast charging stations. These are also called level 3. So there are faster chargers than the one that I currently have at our facility. The project scope, we're looking at 6 parking spots at the Mary Rogers Pioneer Park. They will look kind of like the picture above, which I snapped from a Starbucks in Seattle. Starbucks got a partnership recently with Volvo. And Volvo basically partnered with ChargePoint. They own the network, they own this, they produce the chargers. And that is basically the hardware that I like to deploy in front of the city council. The chargers are fast. So what we're looking at is 30 to 60 to 90 minutes. I don't really have a lot of data, to how people will be stopping, but from talking to ChargePoint, that is the expectation, that somewhere in the 30 to 90 minutes, we can expect, people to stop. Moving forward, benefits to the city of South Bend. I think I have another slide later. Hopefully I'm not going to confuse myself, but I definitely believe in the economic growth of South Bend, and being around South Bend and Raymond, I think South Bend's got it, I'm closer to the South Bend community, and I would love for this to be, at the location that we spoke. I am considering an increased foot traffic to the local businesses. There are quite a few businesses around, as the city council knows. So I think from a location point of view, it will benefit the local businesses. There's also a sustainability goal here. It will reduce the carbon emissions and will definitely position South Bend as the leader in clean energy. The last point to bring up here, it's the ChargePoint network. In my research, I came across maybe 2 to 3 hardware providers, and I believe ChargePoint is the network that we should be partnering with. Not only do they have hardware that is of great reliability, in my opinion, but they also provide the ChargePoint network. So this will literally put the chargers on the ChargePoint map. It will allow for people, to see them and nowhere to stop for battery charging. Technical and financial details. So I'm new to this. I don't know if you can find somebody to to actually have experience installing these chargers at this point. But the little that I know for sure is that the project will cost at least $300,000. This is the hardware, the 3 charging stations, and a transformer that PUD will have to deploy for this. It will likely cost more. I don't know the things that I don't know until we get there, but I'm fully committed to complete the project. The revenue estimation it's another thing. It's really an estimate. I can't tell you, how many people will stop. I can tell you that people will stop because there is a need for having a charging station between Aberdeen, I would say, and Astoria on US 101. There is nothing there. And my belief is that most of the electric vehicles are actually taking the I-5 route going south as opposed to taking the scenic, beautiful US 101 simply because there is no charging point in between Aberdeen and Astoria. There's a maintenance cost. These charging stations will need to be upgraded every once in a while. There are new cars coming up every year, and they require, they're able to basically charge faster and faster. I don't expect that to be happening, at least for the first 3 years, but, just making sure that everybody is on the same page. Long-term growth potential. This is really what I'm looking at, and I want to share that growth and the revenue with the city. At this point, like if I look at the Pacific County, for example, I look at numbers. There are 1.5% of all of the cars registered in the Pacific County are electric vehicles. Not a lot, but the trend is upwards. So I'm hoping, whatever the numbers are today, in 5-10 years, they will make sense and we'll all be, proud and happy that, we were able to do this business. There is a proposed payment structure, which I discussed with the mayor, got some feedback on it, and I made some changes. Very happy, by the way, to see that, we're able to move the 3% revenue incremental. So for the first 1 to 5 years, we're looking at $2,000 annual flat rate, for this 6 or 8 parking spots. We're going to start with 6. There's a high cost, so I appreciate, being able, to take 5 years before we start sharing revenue. But after that, I want everybody to benefit. I want everybody to be happy when you guys come to work, and see the charging station there. I want everybody to feel that you're getting something from this work. Additional considerations. There's I asked for the option to have one additional parking spot, for another charger, simply because it looks like WashDOT with their NEVI program would like to have 4. It's unclear if they need 4 parking spots or 4 charging stations, but I wanted to make sure, that eventually we get the option, to use federal funds to upgrade these stations. I'm asking for a long-term contract. It's a high-cost investment, so I have no idea how these contracts work, in government settings, but I appreciate the council help navigating those. This is actually a picture of South Bend. I was looking for a picture and I, I came across this one and I was like, oh my God, this is a great place where, you know, that I come every 2 weeks, that I visit. This is a kind of like a new picture for me after being here for 10 years. So I was pleased to put it there. This is a project again that's going to be fully funded by this new company of mine. I love to partner with Dennis, with everybody there. I look forward, you know, to learn some things from in this project. I like to learn more about, you know, the contractors that you guys use, trying to basically wrap this up and make it, you know, as successful as possible. And that's pretty much all I had to present. Open to questions, and yes.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions? Yes.
I'm not sure if it's pertinent to him or somebody else.
Mhm.
These parking places, are they dedicated for charging only?
Yes.
Because what happens to people that stop and want to use the restroom or just have a picnic in the park? I mean, that's quite a few parking places for our downtown area.
It is, yeah. That still leaves 3 before you get to the alley next to the restroom. And then there's the ones at the post office, and there's the ones here in front of City Hall as well. And the ones in front of City Hall are rarely full. Court, I think, is the only time that they're normally full, once every couple weeks. So I think there is still going to be plenty of room for folks. They may have to walk across the street, but there is room for them to get over there. And like I say, there are still 3 spaces over there. There's 9 total right next to the restrooms. And then there's the little alley that goes by the post office. And then there's the ones that are down in front of that post office parking area there that are fairly close to the park as well.
You
And
could
those
use some
don't get used all that often
Parallel
either.
parking there or something like that.
Mhm.
Some slash lines for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we move the charging stations down towards the alley so that the citizens can park closer to the restroom in the park?
That would be maybe a PUD question. I imagine so. It'd just be more wire, I would
Yeah, it's
think.
gonna be a longer run.
Yeah.
I just hate to take 6 parking spaces and possibly all but 1 parking space away from the citizens of South Bend. Again, for a park.
That park is well used.
I'm not opposed to the charging stations. Why don't we put them at the library?
There isn't very much.
I think
parking.
it's access
there's not
to
enough.
power, and there's
Yeah,
not
okay.
much parking
No,
there
it's not
either.
enough parking.
It would take all of their parking probably.
Well, they're not
Yeah.
They're not
gonna
gonna,
open
they're not gonna
anytime.
probably reopen, so.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I don't know, and I mean, I can see a better place for them is at the county, across from Coast. They have, or down at the,
Where would you put you mean in the county parking lot? That's usually full every day
Yeah,
already.
it is.
and what
Yeah.
about down where, the port just opened their new building where the Fish and Chips is?
The Bendixton.
Mhm.
I don't know, just anybody else?
I don't think I've ever seen more than 3 people in that park at any given time, so
Yeah.
you know,
Nope.
I think the parking spots aren't really an issue.
There really isn't that many
There
parking places used by citizens using the park at any one time. Other than at Labor Day or something, you know, a
Yeah.
holiday or something like that. But as a normal rule, there's only 1 to 2 cars over there at a time. Most of the time. Occasionally, there's a couple Pioneer employees that'll park there all day, which then makes it 3 or 4 cars there. But it's rare to have
Yeah.
that
Not really.
really congested over there.
Right.
And I think in the few odd times that would happen, there's parking here at City Hall, just across the street.
No,
I
I think-
don't know that it's a big issue.
I think the main concern that we gotta think about is maybe shifting down at least 1 to keep 1 handicap parking area in front of the restroom facility. But other than that, That's the only,
That's
that's
a good
the only thing
idea.
that I would think. you
Yeah,
know,
that's a
ju-
good
just-
idea.
Just to keep it ADA.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
I feel kind of similar to Jan. I am just a little leery about taking those prime spots that are right in the center of downtown and turning them into somebody that slots that'll only be used very, very infrequently.
mhm.
Were there other options looked at, pieces in the town? Can you
Yeah.
guys explain maybe?
Yeah, we looked at Triplett Field, we looked at Robert Bush Park. Was there anywhere else that we were checking into, David? We landed on this because we thought it was a good idea.
The other place I think that I contacted you initially was the roundabout kind of thing at the Elixir Cafe. But that's I know there's more traffic there. I would say it's very hard to
Yeah,
That's and that parking lot's
Yeah.
horrible now.
Yeah. Mhm.
So to add that, I think.
The other thing that I was gonna say is, the project definitely is depending on power. So wherever we would want to relocate this, we'd need to be talking to PUD. Right now, PUD gave us a go for this location because they have power across the street from the grocery store, so they're able to. I wouldn't say easily, but they have it there.
Mhm.
What about? Well, there might be. On the other side of the park and in the back side of the park, facing. Post office facing. I know they would be parallel positions and not, are those open or is that property
No,
binding
that's-
because it was?
That's right away, it's just, there's a lot of action coming out of the back, they'd probably have to revamp how they deal with things back there and,
For the post office.
yeah.
Yeah, but it is city property that's unused, never used. And there's enough.
But that's what we were saying though, even if we utilize these, we could still utilize parallel parking here for pedestrian, for citizens and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because then you'd have to run that power clear around the other
Well,
way
is
as
the
well.
power,
It's right here.
where is the power?
Right off the corner of Willapa and First.
Okay.
It's right here.
So are you talking
Where the
about,
pole is, right across the street, that's where the power is.
are you talking about putting parking spaces in the alley
Yeah.
between?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If
Parallel
we,
parking there.
if we can do that, then. That improves it for me. We have designated parking there. I just can just hear some citizens screeching because,
Mhm.
we're taking away parking spaces for.
Yeah.
Tourists.
This is, where it's, and then he's talking about putting.
Right, if you put in,
Right here.
We could do it on the other alley coming, I guess east and west too, by the pharmacies, just
Right here.
those cars back. It'd be the same situation as the post office backing out with these cars. From the pharmacy backing out too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But you're only gonna need 8 foot basically off that fence line for parallel parking. So you could probably get another 6, I don't know, at least 5 spots right there,
right.
Mhm.
And besides that mail truck parks way out.
Yeah, they would have to
They,
change. the way-
they'd have to just park tighter to the
Yeah.
post. I mean, they could, they just park way out.
So we could accommodate cars for sure, at least those 6
Yeah.
positions. I think by the exterior, the border or the footprint of the park anyways.
Okay.
I did have one question too. When you're talking about the revenue stream per year that comes back to the city, and then you talked about maintenance. So the city would be paying the maintenance to keep it up?
No, that everything will be.
Yeah, that wasn't explained, so I didn't know. You
Yeah, no.
you said that there would be a maintenance fee, or maintenance that would have to be taken care of.
No, that's all taken care of by my company.
Also, Fabian, would it be cost effective to just do 2 to start with? Does that?
No, yeah, it's a great question. I struggle a lot with that. I kind of have an algorithm in my head, if one goes down, and it will go down because I have no trust, in these units until we see how they are. Then you're left with two. And on the map, when you get on like ChargePoint app, you will actually see how many of those are available. If one is dead, it's not going to show up. So 3 was kind of like the magic number for me. But know that I don't believe I need 8 spots. The 6 that were initially there, I'm good with those. I don't think we need more. I think even for the Navy program, with WashDOT, they will be okay with that.
And then, did I understand this correct? This is your first venture in doing this?
The first venture in doing a charging station, yes. But I own Greenlet, the cannabis company in town, one of them. I've been here for 10 years.
Just like our fire sirens going off.
Yeah. I'm not worried about pulling this off, by the way. Like I'm an engineer. This will work, no problem.
1 second, we can't hear you for just 1 minute.
Usually it's 4 turns, but we'll see. Usually it's more rotation. Right. The bonus. Yeah.
It feels like a long time when you're waiting for it to end.
There we go.
Okay, go ahead, Fabian. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry, was there a question?
I think someone asked if this is your first venture with the EV station.
And then after that, we couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm sorry. I thought I already answered it. Yes, this is the first charging station that I put together. I don't think there's a lot of people who have experience with these things. So there's a pioneering there. But at the same time, I pioneered cannabis edibles 10 years ago. I work for Microsoft. I'm an engineer, by the way. That's my background. So I do run bigger projects for Microsoft, and then I run this edible company that's still in town. Out of all of the companies who came and went away, we're actually thriving. We're actually doing good. We have 35
Are you
employees.
on the old South Bend Highway?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
Where is that?
I think it's called the Old Mill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Briskies.
All right, are there any other questions for Fabian?
Is there any upfront cost that the city has to put in, do anything for you, or anything that
Sorry.
is required for them to do?
There's probably a legal cost. Somebody needs to sign some documents, things like that. But no, I'm not expecting anything.
We're not supplying our equipment to do any installs or any of that kind of stuff. You're doing all the construction work.
Correct.
Any repairs to the sidewalks is
It's
on
on
you.
me.
Okay. And then, let's say in 2 years or 3 years from now, you sell your business and sell it to another company. Our contract still stands.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm not planning to do that.
Nobody does until you plan.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you're correct. There's no charging stations up and down this little 101 corridor at all. There's nothing there. I've heard people complain about it before.
You have to go to Aberdeen.
Yeah, or actually,
Copeland is the closest one to
yeah,
here.
yeah, so. Yeah,
Well, I appreciate that because I thought I was the only one, thinking about it that way.
I thought the Carriage Museum area was gonna have one.
They're planning one down the road. I don't know how soon that's gonna happen, but yeah, they are planning something there.
Sounds good to be first.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, any other questions? Everyone's comfortable? Okay, so I would entertain a motion for, the mayor, myself, to sign the memorandum of understanding between Turbocharge Incorporated and the city of South Bend.
So moved.
And is there a second?
Sorry.
As long as we leave the handicap space. We gotta
Yes,
write- we
I
gotta write
agree.
that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm
Thank
sure
you
that
for
won't be a
that, Wyatt.
problem. Yeah, that was a great idea.
And we are gonna have legal counsel look at it.
They already have.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
I-
Are any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. We appreciate you being here. Great presentation.
This is gonna be great. I promise you guys. Thank you so much for giving me this chance and we'll make it work.
All right.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, my understanding from earlier is that we want to hold off and table this HUD fund use of funds. So what we want to discuss now then is the, budget workshop. And, it has to happen next week for me because I'm gonna be, gone the whole next week. I will not be I'll be in Kansas.
I'm out next.
You're out next week?
Luke's out.
Yeah.
So next week.
That's okay. I think I can go through this.
Yeah, because it was
Yeah,
just-
yeah.
We already went through it.
We've already
Line by
gone
line,
through it and I've
line.
got the list of changes, so I don't think it's gonna be nearly as long and involved, other than what discussion we may get into.
The only unknown I got is I'm on jury duty this month for Superior Court. And there is a
Okay.
trial like the 18th, 19th, 20th and 21st. Not that I'm gonna be on it, but there's a
Well, we
possibility.
can do it if we did it, after 5 o'clock.
Correct.
They don't do court
Correct.
after
Yep,
5 o'clock.
Yep,
So,
that'd be good.
let me real quick run and look at my calendar on my desk.
I need to go look at mine.
Yeah. What night I'm available.
The initial proposal on the state presentation with both our engineers and our legal counsel. So, and everything was.
Good.
up enough, So.
You know, he doesn't know your name.
Okay. 10 years. Yeah, that's all right. I got it.
I think it's a good thing, right? Cause there's nothing, we've had a couple different people come to church that come into the area and wanna know where they could charge. And I'm like, "Well, I have no idea.
Nothing here.
Aberdeen.
I can get you an extension cord from my house, but it might take you a while.
Yeah, is Wednesday all right for folks at 5 o'clock? Does that work?
I think so.
5 o'clock Wednesday?
Wednesday, the 20th,
Yeah,
5 o'clock workshop.
that way if you do have court,
Right, I'll be
you
done.
can come down and,
Yeah, yeah.
and if you're not quite here, if you
At 5.
don't get out till right at 5,
So,
then
I'll just put-
we're okay. We'll just hold
I'll
tight
put
a
it
little
in my
bit. So,
Calendar right now.
okay, so we'll table this HUD fund discussion until the next meeting.
On the 25th.
On the 25th, and I will not be here. I will be zooming in. We'll be flying out the next morning, so Darren, are you able to chair that meeting?
What we.
The next one on the
25th.
25th? Yes, yes, I'll be here via Zoom.
Yep.
But I won't be able to be here in person. So, okay, so we got that taken care of. All right, so department head reports, Chief Siegel is away and excused, Supervisor Hauk.
I just got a couple items, actually, Madison Street Safe Routes to School project, pre-con meeting tomorrow morning. And they plan on starting construction, I believe it's the following week, week 18th. Actually, this one, I guess that was it.
Okay, all right, Chief McGee is not here, Clerk Treasurer Soa.
Just one thing I wanted to, inform you guys that, the electronic bills, we extended the fireworks survey. The electronic bills, this time it did, go out in 2 different places as a notice on the bill and a link to click to be able to take the fireworks survey for anybody that gets their bill electronically online. So, and we extended it through the end of November.
Have you seen any come back from electronic people?
I personally have not. I don't know if Kim has or not. That was my only thing.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. I don't think I've got anything either. Do we have any public comments regarding current agenda items? Does not appear that we do. Okay, council comment.
I have a comment.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I tried raising my hand before.
I didn't see it. I kind of waited to look and see and didn't see anything, but that's okay. Go ahead, Stephanie.
I'm concerned about the consistent rate increases. And cities, I don't want to put this in a negative sense, but each year the costs are gonna go up and the money doesn't seem to go up. So this just seems like a vicious cycle to continue the rate increases without something giving in terms of finance. So the citizens are not always responsible for these.
We're having trouble hearing you. Can you get a little closer to your microphone, maybe?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Better.
yeah, it's better.
I'm just wondering if the city is going to look at the fact that the citizens can't continue to bear the burden of these rate increases that can be predicted that they will raise each year. There's got to be a preventative method so that consumers are not constantly hit over and over again with rate increases.
Yeah, I think, let me kind of paraphrase what you said, because we are still having trouble hearing you, but I want to make sure that we captured what you were trying to relay. That you're concerned about the increases that have happened year over year for the last few years to the water rates, and you're concerned about the citizens' ability to bear those costs. And you want, go ahead.
You got it. You got it. I'm just wondering if the city council can make some proactive decisions. So after 2025 increase, that this doesn't happen again in 2026, 2027, that there are predictable costs. And that if you always have to turn to the citizens, there's something wrong with the math there.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying, and I understand your concern, and I share those too. We're not in control of the supply costs going up. It takes X amount of chemicals and X amount of pipe and all those kinds of things to keep the system running. When a pipe bursts and has to be replaced, you know, that pipe costs are double, triple what they used to be. Chemical costs have increased tremendously. And by RCW, whatever it costs to run a water department or a sewer department has to be borne by the citizens that use it or the businesses that use it, by all the users as a whole. That's by RCW. We're not allowed to use monies from any other source for operations costs. It has to come from the users.
So if we know these increases are gonna happen every year, can we not budget that in and relieve the citizens of consistent rate increases?
You mean budget to prevent it?
Yes, I mean, I realize right now we're struggling to make ends meet, but I also think we have predictable increases. And instead of the consumers having to pay for those, I'm thinking that the city council could look deeper into the budget and how they could better compensate our ever increasing and demanding water costs.
Except it has to be self-contained and it has to be within the water, so we can't allocate 200,000 a year out of the, the funds. General funds to go to the water department. We're not allowed to do that. The only way we can lower the cost is to increase the amount of users.
I see.
And unfortunately, we've had one cannery go down completely and
Right.
reduce the amount of water they use. And we don't know what's gonna happen in the next year if, you know, we're gonna have citizens leaving or whatever, that's a different problem, but there really isn't anything that the city can do about it. Marie Perez did talk about, she's trying to get funds, which probably won't happen now, but to relieve small cities of the burden of these water and sewer plants that they were forced to put in. Because it's a concern with all the small towns. You know, the one that, you know, Skamakaway or wherever she lives, it's the same. thing. So,
I appreciate your response. And I appreciate the cost involved. Thank you for allowing.
and I don't know if we can increase the discount for seniors and low income people. I think there's a rule on that too, isn't there? What's the discount for the water? bill?
There's a formula for it.
Yeah, I don't know what it
what it
is.
is off the top of my
Based on
head.
your-
The form is out.
And I think it's based on income.
It is based on income, what percentage you get.
They get reduced.
Then are we
Yeah.
maxed out on the percentage of relief they get on that, or can we
I
check
believe
on
so.
that?
We did check on, not that long ago, and we are following what the guideline was
Okay.
on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, it
Yeah.
won't hurt to check again. Things do change, but it wasn't that long ago that we did check on it, and we are following.
At least,
Okay.
yeah, we were at that time anyway.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you, Stephanie. So, future agenda topics, of course, we'll have the HUD fund on there. Did you guys have anything else for? Oh, we didn't do council comments, sorry. Counselor Williams.
Just
I was
one
gonna
thing
go
too, we
there.
do, when customers do come in and we know, like, if they are having problems and stuff, we do offer them the form to make sure, that, you know,
If
for
they
them
qualify.
to see if
If they
they do
qualify.
qualify. We do, you know, Kim is very good about that. We do tell people, you know, if you'd like to fill this out to make sure, you know, to see if you do qualify for any sort of discount, so.
Well, we can
Okay.
do.
No, sorry for being late.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Counselor Davis?
No, I'm good.
Counselor
Talked enough.
Corcoran?
Nothing.
Counselor Manley? Counselor Tigan?
I think we're good.
Okay, all right, we will see you all on Wednesday. So we are adjourned.